These rent prices are unbelievable, bro. What? We've literally spent weeks upon weeks, days upon days, touring, looking at different places, and they done lost their mind, bro. Like, what if we came to as a society for rent to be $2,000 plus for a one bedroom apartment? Like, what are we talking about? And the square footage is under 1,000. Like, I don't understand what's going on. I mean, I know why the prices are high, but it's just like, it doesn't make sense, you know, like just a basic cost of living, like just a place to sleep. You're talking about $2,000 for a one bedroom. I mean, I've seen a two bedroom go for $3,000. We got to figure something out as a country, as a whole, as a unit, whatever, bro. Like, this doesn't make sense. And they wonder why people are not having kids right now, bro. Like, it's expensive to just feed yourself. It's expensive to just breathe and just to be alive. It's very expensive, bro. But dang, I ain't never seen no prices this high. Like before COVID, I mean, you can get a two bedroom for, you know, a good price, you know, way more affordable than what it is now. So I'm interested to see how things are going to, you know, develop as this new administration get in office.
I don't think that rent prices are ever coming down. But then again, it depends on the area that you're in. In order for rent prices to come down, the value of the properties themselves have to come down. And a lot of people don't understand that. And I'm going to explain that in the next video because he actually has a follow-up video to this. So make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. I'm going to link back to the content creator because I always like to give credit. It's the right thing to do. But I don't think the administration has anything to do with the rent prices. The rent prices are set by the market. The value of something is based off of the demand of it. It's what people are willing to pay for it. Now, some people now, and it depends, right? And so I'm gonna break it down in a few different ways. The first way that I'm gonna break it down is that when you start to go into certain areas, right? Certain cities have astronomical rent prices because you are paying for the weather, you're paying for the lifestyle, you're paying for the development, you're paying for the area that you're in. You know, if you go to a more central location, let's take a Miami, right? You go down to Miami, and if the closer you are to the action, the closer you are to the design district, the closer you are to South Beach, the closer you are to Biscayne, the closer you are to Brickell, the closer you are, and Biscayne is a street that runs back and forth all the way up to downtown Miami, back through Midtown and the design district, and then obviously you got Wynwood over there. And so Wynwood used to be a cheaper area, right? Because it was an area that was a little bit more depressed. You had Wynwood walls over there. It wasn't even costing anything. And now Wynwood, they have so many structures going up over there, and it's because everybody want to move to Miami. And so when you get one of those high rises, what happens is the cost of living goes up significantly because the rent prices go up. Same thing for New York. You know, New York is a rent controlled city. So when they finally get the opportunity to move everybody out and then eventually hike up the rent, they will. They absolutely will because they know that it's going to be rent controlled as far as how much they can up the prices depending on where, you know, where you're trying to live at. Now, I don't know where he never stated the area that he was living in, but $2,000 for a one bedroom apartment, that's not unheard of. But if you move a little bit further out, if you move into certain areas, again, any major city, you are going to be paying for that. Now, most of the time in the major cities, you also have public transportation, which is supposed to, you know, limit the cost of what it costs to live on a day-to-day basis. A lot of people don't like to cook for themselves anymore, so a lot of times they order out, they do DoorDash, Uber Eats. So a lot of times you're paying for convenience, you're paying for amenities, you're paying for a lot of the things in these locations that you're living in if you buy an apartment. As far as homes, that's a completely different conversation, and so I'll go into that in a little bit. But you know, it is a lot that goes into the equation of what people are paying and they rent. And again, it depends on the area that you're in. It depends on if you want to have these high-end amenities. You can absolutely find things at a lower budget, but people are not willing to go down. They think that they deserve the same thing as everybody else. And historically, even when I was younger in the 90s and the 2000s, rent was significantly lower, but you didn't get as much quality. You may have to go in a little bit, sketchier of an area, but you can find that in any city. Most of the time, people just want the best of the best and the luxury, and they expect them to pay 1990, 2000, and 2010 prices. It's absolutely not going to happen. But here's a follow up after people apparently was commenting in his comments talking about, yeah, rent too high, so on and so forth. This is what he had to say.
It sucks, but people are really drowning right now. Looking at the comments for my video about rent prices was like honestly depressing. It's so many people out there that are in these situations, these circumstances where they can't afford their rent. Like some of the prices that people were saying for the square footage that they were getting is insane. And I think this tells us one thing, that a lot of people are struggling financially. And let this be a reminder that you should take what you see on social media with a grain of salt. Somebody just got a new car, they, going on vacations. It's not to say that people can't afford to do these things right now, but just take it with a grain of salt, because most likely they're struggling, they're drowning too. I've even seen people comment down below saying like, oh, should we still be paying 50-50? Should it be the man 100%? And hey, I may tell you a joke, but I'll never tell you a lie, man. Two incomes is more than one, especially during these times. Comment down below what your rent prices are in your city, because people need to see that this is all over. It's not just where you're at. And most
Yes and no. There's a lot of people getting money. It's a lot of people getting a lot of money out here. And I'm just telling you that sometimes when you pay to stay in certain buildings, when you go in certain places, when you pay membership fees to go to certain gyms and to certain social clubs and all of that, you are also paying for the opportunity to be around other people that's getting money so that you can get more money based off of whatever value that you offer, and then y'all partner up and so on and so forth, building that relationship. Everybody not broke. I'm just telling you, there's a big divide between the haves and the have-nots. And I think that the middle class is going away, which is one of the reasons why a lot of people are complaining about rent. Let me also add something in there because a lot of people don't understand that one of the reasons why rent prices also go up, especially for single family homes and for buildings, is because property taxes go up, right? So the cost of doing business, the interest rates are higher, which is something that I think that Trump is going to help get under control based off of some of the decisions and the policy decisions that he make, and the Fed lowering interest rates, which doesn't necessarily mean that the rent prices necessarily go lower, because again, demand jumps up when money is loose, right? So it's really just a calculation. It's a yin and a yang. But I do think that there's a lot of people struggling. A lot of those reasons is because they're self-inflicted wounds. People have student loans. People have a lot of credit card debt. People make bad decisions. They go on vacations. They finance everything with Klarna. And they look at their budget based off of what they can pay. They don't do it based off of what makes sense, or the interest rate, or it doesn't make, I don't need to buy this to impress people or whatever. Honestly, if I wasn't in the position that I was in, and if I was just doing okay, and I can live, work, and play in the same area, I would probably catch public transportation. That would be a part of the cost that I eliminate. I'm eliminating gas. I'm eliminating insurance. I'm eliminating maintenance, car notes, all of that stuff, right? So I just think that it's a lot that goes into it. Yes, people are struggling a little bit, and no, some people aren't struggling, and a lot of people are struggling because they have self-inflicted wounds. But you also got to understand that, a lot of these places, single-family homes and stuff, most people that are renting out their properties to you, they only have one or two homes. They have to carry that mortgage anytime it's empty and a lot of that stuff. So, it's a lot that goes into it. I'm curious as to what y'all think. Do you think that rent prices are too high? And let me know inside of the comments. Again, I always like to link back to the content creator. And then make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description, as well as put to the top of the chat. I'm out.